Okay, it's time for some medieval maintenance. Got the wall up for the kitchen, but now it is time for some medieval maintenance. Yep, yummy, yummy. You know, real oil lamps, no LEDs in this camp. Okay, yeah, there are. Who am I kidding? But this is so much better. But time to clean this up. Many years of use this thing's had. Okay, everybody. Time for some medieval maintenance. Most of our camp is, it's kind of gross, is lit, at least ambient light wise, with oil lamps. The majority of them are a period style, like using vegetable or olive oil or something like that. A handful of them are modern, like petroleum oils. We don't use a lot of those because they're dangerous. And so this is how we mark the camp and stuff like that. People still have flashlights and stuff, but it's really cool to be able to do this and to have your lamps on the table doing their job the way they did back then. It's pretty damn cool. This green lamp and the red lamp, kind of doing the nautical thing, even though that's not period, is for the front gate. And since we've had no or very little moon so far this come war week, we're in peace week now, come war week, we'll have more of a moon. But right now it gets really dark out here. So fixing your lamps is something you do in the daytime. Because if they're not working and it's nighttime, it's too dark. So, use the Clorox wipes here to get as much of this soot off as possible. It's not going to come clean. I could stick it in the sink and wash it. I could, use some dish soap or take them home and put them in the dishwasher. But get it mostly clean and looking like it's still doing its work. If they don't come up clean enough, I'll probably put them in the sink and wash them. But I don't want them looking like they came like right out of Walmart kind of thing either, which is where some of these came from. This is out of like the garden center or something. This is day 3 of Peace Week. It is Monday. So if this gets put in chronological order, you'll know. If not, I'll cut that line out. Here's how these things work. This lamp is going to be filled to about here with water, and then to about here with vegetable oil, canola oil, olive oil, a burnable fat of some sort. In this thing, which hangs down in it, which is just some brass wire and a copper like wire crimp thing, if you need ice, the ice mafia is coming. And the wick goes through there, and for about $3 or $4 you can get a lifetime supply of wicks. That's a cotton mop head. You need about 3 inches of one of those strands for this. That's very annoying. Here comes the ice mafia. So I'm going to pause this and work on this because they're going to keep yelling. So, be back. Okay, the Ice Mafia is gone. While that was going on, I did take it to the sink, and I got the other one. And they're obviously still not pristine, but they're not physically that sticky anymore, so that's fine. So you know, the Ice Mafia is a bunch of kids who one of the fathers got together and they walk around Pennsic selling ice. They will pick up a couple of big wagons full of ice, walk around Pennsic, and instead of hiring a kid to go to the store to pick up the ice and come back, they're cutting that out and just buying it and bringing it down for whoever pays for it. And they get tips. And those kids make bank because nobody wants to walk up there and get. So, as soon as I get this remotely decent looking, I will be replacing the wicks. Again, the wicks are, this is cotton mop head. Any natural fiber, natural wicking fiber will do. It does not have to be fancy. And as long as it is, you know, absorbent, it will not actually burn itself. It eventually soots away. These carbon buildups will build up on the end of the wick. In the beginning, that carbon is good because it helps the wick light faster, but in the end, it ends up clogging up the wick and keeping it from actually wicking, which is why you replace it. But like I said, if a 4-inch piece of this lasts you all war, burning every night, all night, and you throw 3 inches of it away, you got a long way to go before this $4 mop head runs out. The oil we use is leftover kitchen oil, not used. I don't drain the fry pan into it. You could, but I don't. Kind of gross. But, you know, soybean vegetable oil. This is 1 gallon, obviously marked lamp oil at this point. Best by June 2020. Not if I'm burning it in my lamp, it isn't. So, and hence why they're labeled lamp oil. So if it ends up in the kitchen from somebody refilling a lamp, it doesn't get mistaken for something we're going to cook with. Like I said, the lamp itself will be mostly filled with water. This does several things. 1, it makes it safer. 2, the water itself will act as a magnifying glass for the light. As it is much clearer than the oil, it produces more light that way. 3, the oil suspended on the water will keep the oil near the wick, because unlike petroleum-based oils, vegetable oil and stuff is heavy and doesn't wick as far up the wick. So you need to keep the wick in a shallower container. Yeah, yummy job. So that's how this whole thing goes together. I'm going to hit pause again so I preserve battery, and when I get this closer together, I'll show you more. By the way, the crimp sleeve that the wick is in, that's holding up, like I said, this is just copper wire. If I polish it up, it's real pretty and stuff. The piece that's actually holding the wick is a crimp sleeve, copper crimp connections. And this was a couple of bucks, and there's 100 in the package. So overall, this cost is less than $5 for a period lamp. A little bit of time to put together, I got 2 weeks to sit here and do nothing. I got time to make lamps. By the way, something like this, however, this bale, is useless. Because this originally was for like a tea light, which would be a tiny little thing down here. Your flame is going to be up here somewhere. You can't carry it like this. So don't even think about it. These go in the lamps that I showed you at the beginning of the video, so they don't actually get carried. Okay, now while those soak for the front gate, I thought I'd show you something like this. The wire assembly is the same as the others. It goes a little further down. This is going to get filled about to here with water and about to here with oil. Basically enough to get the bottom of the wick holder and that moist. Yes, there's drums going on. Welcome to the bog. But the rest of this is filled with water. This bottom part here becomes a magnifying glass and projects a lot of light down. Way safer than these things. Notice, not burnt. Don't use them. This is standard tiki torch. It uses regular tiki fuel or lamp oil, and if this falls over, vegetable oil that doesn't burn without a wick, and a whole bunch of water that's just going to wash it out. Hence, safer. I think we're going to pause again because those drums are going to go on for a while. Welcome to the bog. Now I'm going to clean these out a little bit, get the gunk out of there so I can put the wick in. I'm going to put the wick in and then back into the lamps. These things here, by the way, are candle holders from Walmart. We have some that are purposely built for doing this, but then we have a bunch that are conveniently usable, mundanely built things. And again, that's going to last both these lamps all war, burning every single night, regardless. Something like that. Neighbors are home. Something like that. And you can adjust this. Usually you'll have a piece of wire that you can push this in and out of the ferrule here. If it starts smoking, it's too high. If it sort of looks weak, it's too low. So you adjust it so it burns as clean as possible. And you can get pretty good light out of it without a lot of smoke. I wouldn't do this inside. It will set off your smoke alarms in your house probably, especially if you're like an infrared. If you have like an infrared smoke detector, it'll probably put it off. So, but out here, I kind of like to put it in the top and pull it through. Doesn't matter much. This one might not let me do it now that I said it. We twist it in the direction that the cotton twists and push it through till it comes out the other side. This one's still really sticky. And then pull it through like that. This one's gonna burn like hell, so let's trim that off. Ouch. Welcome to Pennsic. Have a bloody nice day. No blood. And then those go into your oil lamp. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bit of oil in there and let the wicks soak up the oil. I'm not going to put any water yet. Realistically, I could put the water in there because it's all going to float, but by putting the oil in first, the bottom of the wick is going to soak up oil. Then when I add the water, the wick won't pick up the water because it's already filled with oil, and the oil is going to float on the water, lifting the wick up. If I fill it with water and oil at the same time, some of the wick could be stuck under the water where it will soak up water, and now that wick is going to be useless for most of the time. It'll still work and it'll still burn pretty much all war, but time to soak that. Looking to see if I have a smaller jug of oil, because sometimes I have those little kitchen jars of oil. So I have about to there. And I will let that, and I poured it right over the wick. There we go. I'll let that soak. Loop. Okay, that one's a little heavier. It's to like there. Realistically, that's all the oil it's going to take to burn for quite a while. And like I said, the water creates a magnifying glass effect that will spread the light out further. If I filled this up with oil, it would burn for all week straight without putting it out, probably. But as the oil goes down, I'd have to add water anyway to raise the level of the oil. And the oil is very cloudy yellow and will get cloudier as it burns. The water is just water, and you can add as much as you want as it goes. I'm not going to make you watch the wicks soak up. So, okay, everybody, where I learned about these oil lamps and stuff and how to make the bales to hold the wires and all that comes from Master Bedveer. He is a laurel, and this is what he got his laurel in. So if you can find this stuff, I will put a link to his website here. And but this is dated 2013, so I don't know if the website's still up. I have the hard copy, but he gives you references and history and stuff like that, plus how to build all these parts and where to get things. And it's a fantastic way to light your camp. It's very, very cool. It's safer than tiki torches, and you know, period, for just about every persona. So I'll let you see this when it's lit. fill it up, whoops, till the oil just reaches the top. So, see how I get that? So it just reaches the top, and that's where it sits. I can let that soak however long I want now. As like right now, I got about an inch of oil on top. And I'm letting the tabletop one soak a little while because that wick is shortened. It's a long way down. Might see it better in the clear. I'm gonna add more oil to that. That's only like a 1/4 inch of oil. Oil and water don't mix, so that will always be separate. And now I want that oil to make it all the way to the top of that. All those little bubbles will pop. And that is a filled oil lamp. Now to get the secret of man's red fire and light them up so you can see it. Okay, I'm back. Secret of man's red fire. There we go. Let's light this one up, see what happens. The first time you light this, it's going to take a while because there's no carbon buildup on the wick. And then we're lit. Ta-da! I'm going to cheat. There you go. I don't recommend doing it that way. It's going to smoke a while the wick gets going, and then I can adjust it. But again, the light from that flame is going to go through the oil through here, and that bulb reflects down onto the tabletop. This is really cool for gaming and stuff like that. It's not an LED light, but if you're throwing dice or playing cards where you can see the numbers, it's plenty of light. You're playing Glock House or 9-Man Morse, no problem. But for ambiance, can't be beat. Way cheaper than candles, way safer than tiki torches. And so I hope this helps you. See you at war. Have a great day. That's going to be at the front gate. Don't put your arm over the fire. I just thought I'd show you something as far as safety is concerned, and whether these are safe or not. I'm going to push this down so I have that much wick showing. That's like 1/4 of an inch. It's tiny. All it really needs, because that's going to keep it from smoking inside the chimney of the lamp. Now I'm going to light it in there. It's sitting on the fuel. If this was petroleum-based lamp oil, I would be lighting the table on fire. Don't light your table on fire. Nothing. Nothing. Oop. Oop. The wick is now lit. That flame was running across the top of the oil. Nothing lit. You saw how long it took to light. It will take less time to light the next time I light it because the carbon from the fire will help make that go quicker. But as you can see, I got a little bit of smoke. That's how much safer this is than like a petroleum-based lamp. Just thought I'd add that in there. And now to replace and hence the long cigarette lighter thing to light this thing, because it is kind of tough to get in there. But as long as you keep your flame reasonable, the chimney won't get hot, and the bail is only there to help change the oil when it's cool and out.